Hi everyone. We're going to continue human rights. Uh, this is the second part of the human rights video. I will list human rights first, and then we will talk about. I will include some explanations. The number one human right is all human beings are free and equal. But of course, all human rights are interconnected as well as interdependent. So there is no one without the other. So the number one is all human beings are free and equal. Human beings means someone who is being a human by nature, by psychological nature, energetic as well as physical nature. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. They are endowed with reason and conscience and should act toward one another in a spirit of brotherhood. Brotherhood in this case also means sisterhood. This technically means siblinghood, human siblinghood. This is an old document, but that's what they meant. It should be exchanged to siblinghood, and hopefully we will be able to do it, because that's what it means. That means human nature siblinghood. Number two, no discrimination. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms without distinction of any kind. This distinction means bad distinctions, like bad intended distinctions, disrespectful distinctions. So if someone says about someone an obvious fact, which is not negative fact, but it is obvious fact, there's no discrimination involved in it. It's just the truth. Then it says such as race. So in this case, race would mean type, because humankind is humankind, and humans don't have race. We're not racing with each other. Animals have race, and they are racing non-stop because they are the nature is acidic as well, acidifying among themselves as well as among everything else. But human nature is alkaline as well as alkalizing. That means energetic as well as energy sustaining or energy supporting among humans by completion, by human right completions. So race should be understood as type of human beings. Different types of human beings. We come with different abilities. As long as the human is right and rightfully combined or expressed, we have the right to do it. So there should be no discrimination, no disrespect. It should be support for it. Support, alliance, and teamwork. Color. When it comes to color, so there should be no bad distinction when it comes to color. We all come in different colors. There are a few main colors existing in our society. There are all different colored human beings, being human. But like there are really no red humans or truly black or really white skinned humans or really black skinned humans, because they have been discriminated, so they live separately. Hopefully someday we will be able to have all of them together here. Why not? As long as their behavior, their nature is human, then it will be good for us. So there are gray humans, gray colored humans, so on. So far we have the humans, the most common ones are the fair skin or bright skin, and then the beige skin, light brown skin, or dark brown skin, or dark brown skin. These are the common ones. Sex. So there should be no discrimination because someone has different intimate parts or organs or at different places or differently arranged, or because they have different sexual orientations. There should be no disrespect to them, as long as they're expressing it respectfully, by respecting others as well. So there's no tyranny, no oppression involved, no aggression involved. There's only respect involved. and mutual satisfaction, that's respectful. There should be no discrimination. Languages. Languages are all awesome. They are also interconnected. I like to say interdependent as well. And they are all mean something really good. And as long as they are, as long as the meaning behind them and the way they are expressed is actually human natured or human nature friendly. Languages, they are when we are utilizing them by the because they are interconnected, as I mentioned, they do magical stuff. They mean magical things. Let's try some. Combine half of the word by one language and another half in another language, and understand, get a good understanding of what they mean, one half and the other half, or part of the word, and you will find magic in that. You will find actual logic. You will find lots of good explanations, lots of bridges. Every language has that. Religion, that as long as again it's respectful towards human nature, it is alkaline as well as alkalizing nature, so no harm involved. It doesn't matter how many religion or religions you are practicing. You are free to do as many as you want, free to do one or more. Personally, I am a Christian Jew. I'm not fanatic, but I love the best side, the human nature side of both religion. I resonate perfectly with them. I love the angelic songs or the beautiful uplifting Jewish songs and Jewish stories or Christian stories. So I'm a Roman Catholic Christian as well as a Jew, Judaist, but not fanatic again. I do believe in God. There is God. Simply, I like to believe that God is representing the ancient Nordic meaning, which is good, which means human nature. Human nature is angelic as well as godlike. Godlikeness would be humanly creative among humans, and angelic would be humanly protective among humans as well as for humans, with humans, so on. Humans mean, for me, human means, and I find this meaning by having a humanly right understanding of the religions what I choose to practice, because the informations in them or through them resonating with me more than with any other religions. Is humans means for me heaven's united magical angels. When the humans are infected and infections coming through them, then they are heaven's united manipulated angels. But of course, we are talking about human rights right now, so we're gonna keep it that way. Another one is political views. You can have any political views as long as they are aligning with this human rights law, which is the basic law of all existing laws, which are actually legal, so fair, which are actually human nature friendly, you name it. Other one is opinion, other opinion in this case. Other opinion means as long as it is your opinion is protecting human nature, human well-being, human health, human values, you have the right to have an opinion, or if he's supporting it, or if he's about it. Actually, everything that's human right should be supported, should be appreciated. That's when magic happens between each other, among each other, that we appreciate each other's nature, human nature, talents, abilities. Could be anything really that is good for us. National or social origin. Again, doesn't matter where you're from, which country, you are from the earth, and you should be respected, or which social origin you belong into. As long as there's social origin or that type of behavior, cultural behavior, I love all the cultures which are human friendly, human natured, with the ones that are actually legal, aligning with this amazing concept of human rights law. I love all of them, or those parts that actually do when it comes to cultures, because social origins will bring cultures with themselves or with itself. Property. Doesn't matter what property you really entitled to, so you have it around you or with you. I'm not gonna say properties are actually belonging to you, because all the real properties are belonging to you, they're belonging to a human soul. Those are first of all your biologic, your body, whatever, your hands, your eyes, they are belonging to you. You're possessing them. That's the truth. And everything else, we are entitled to everything else that human natured or human nature friendly. We all are. Accordingly, are characteristics that are actually human natured. Birth doesn't matter where you were born on Earth, anywhere on Earth, outside of Earth, human rights applying to you, or other status. So some people have different statuses and the titles or different names. It should not matter. Okay, even if they sound very good or they sound very bad. If their behaviors, the energetic how about, or your physical how about, or the psychological how about, that means their behaviors. If they are human nature friendly, they have human right. Furthermore, no distinction shall be made on the basis of political, jurisdictional, or international status of country or territory to which a person belongs. Right to life, number 3. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. That means if someone violates you, you have the right to defend yourself, at least up to that degree you've been violated. If someone was threatening, did something to you physically, would put your life to risk, you have the right to do it to them at that time as a reaction to protect yourself if the attack remains continuous. It's not like, hey, you attacked me yesterday, you're going to attack you back. Revenge is not lawful, not legal. But if the attack stops, then you have to stop. You can tell the person that I could do the same to you. You just did something to me that that almost took my life, and I could do the same to you too. You could tell them just to keep them away, but make sure you tell them to stay away, and make sure that you don't start hurting them if they are not hurting you anymore physically. If it comes to verbal attacks, psychological attacks, or energetic attacks, it's the same thing. If they are continuous, you have the right to protect yourself up to that degree by quality of nature. Okay, until they're happening, not afterwards, because then you become an offender. Liberty, freedom. I don't have to say what does it mean. Security, they just talked about it. Right to life means you have the right to life. That means you don't really have the right to death, which is a good thing. We all want to live, let's be honest. And we do have the ability, we all have the ability to actually stay alive forever well too, or to regenerate, or to resurrect. Yeah. No slavery. That means you cannot enslave someone. As soon as you oppressing someone, or use tyranny, or you use threats, you are enslaving them, or you use you captivating them, or you don't let their minds to be free, or they somehow they control their freedom. That's also belonging to slavery. Torturing, same, very fundamental, same cruelties that they got nothing to do with human nature. So no slavery. That means you should be able to go to work when you want, how you want, where you want, with who you want, so on, so on. But there is a huge gap in our human world which could be covered. I am working with some of my other friends to cover a huge gap in our social world when it comes to meet people, when it comes to do anything. This will be an online tool, and this online tool will become a physical tool as well for people to make sure that they will be able to have the characteristics there, the wishes, the desire, the needs, and then the system of this online tool will match, will pair those desires, abilities, needs, wishes, what you might got to offer in according to human rights law. So you will find a whole bunch of people who want to meet a person just like you, doing the same thing just like what you would like to do at the place where you would like to be and however you would like to be. And then you will be able to choose each other as long as the connection will be mutually satisfying, even when it comes to someone offering a product. Then there is a deal, and you go on, you live happily. Hopefully there will be lots of relationships. It will produce lots of. It will. It will have no other choice but to produce humanly valuable relationships. If deals are coming through it, then you will need to pay some fee from the profit. And then if the environmental conditions where you will be meeting up will require some cost, then of course whoever contributes into it will get paid as well as the online product will get paid. No torture and inhuman treatment. We just talked about it. It's a very easy idea. Don't respect people just because they are different, and even if they are not just different but harmful to others, okay, you need to we should able to first try to communicate. So humans, because infections coming through them, alien or animal or bug nature infections, those are the only harmful natures which are technically the same. They're supporting each other, which would harm humans through humans. Through the animals is natural because they're naturally nature carriers, but humans are not. Then you still have the obligation to try to help the individual. Of course, if you are attacked and the attack is continuous, or we talked about it, it's a different story. But at first, your approach should be helpful. So because you all know it's not a human doing, it's not a human nature doing when it comes to offenses. Because human nature is perfect, it's beautiful, it's eternal, it's infinite. It's like the soul, it's pure. And yes, the animals have soul, but smaller and different. That's why the blood is acidic, the nature is acidic. But we're not talking about that right now. Same right to use law. So everyone, as long as they are human, they were born human, no matter what infections, this is actually having an exception, an exemption from when someone is infected and the infections are coming through them of psychological nature or physical nature or to energetic nature. Still, the same law is protecting them. This is the human right law, the basic of all laws, all regulations, all bylaws, all policies, and all ideas. If they don't align with this, they are criminal offenses. They are not legal. They are not fair to humans. They could be fair to the animals and the hybrids, but not to humans. Equal before the law. Again, same thing. As long as you were born human, you are equal before the law. And then, of course, the law workers, they will examine the infections if there is a trouble. If you are the one who has the trouble, then the trouble comes through you towards those who don't have, or even towards those who also have. Doesn't matter. They will evaluate that, and according to these human rights, only restorative justice should be applied to humans. That means the law should be used to help you to become human natured again, as well as human nature friendly. But it should not punish you. It cannot do that. It can. It could use protection to make sure that you are safe or make sure others safe, but only according to human nature, the friendly handlings, as much as it's possible. Sometimes it's not, then you gotta protect yourself, but we already talked about it. What does it mean to protect, to use defenses? We already talked about it. Equal before the law. I already had that, okay. Right to treated fair by court. Being treated fairly by court means according to this human rights law, which is barely happens. It happens, but again, the system is system having huge gaps when it comes to relationships, and that is also a relationship between you and the court and between the other parties who are involved in certain incidents or happenings, which need remedies. They need solutions. We are here to cover those by mediations, by purifications, by cures, by healing proceedings, energetic, physical, or psychological ones. That's all they should be all about. Or support, human rights support, financial support, housing support that are actually human right, and so on, or whatever you need as a human to support your human life. No unfair detainment. That's also very common that people are getting detained unfairly. Again, those are all alien natures, animal natures, and hybrid natures, bug natures that are doing it to humans if it's that happening, or sometimes the hybrids or the animals doing it themselves. They are detaining humans. Even if they are inside of humans, they are detaining humans through the bacteria, then virus infections inside the humans because they get energized to the human brain or to the human heart, to the human nervous system, and they're detaining humans in an animal nature reality. That's also detaining. That's bug nature. That's a bug trap. Already talked about it. But detaining humans unfairly simply means that if you're not dangerous, you don't pose continuously, not that you stop being dangerous, you're free to go. Okay? But again, the system needs a lot of support to correct the errors. Humans should only be detained when they are actually the danger is ongoingly, they non-stop coming through them. As soon as it stopped, they should be free. As soon as they're not offensive or violating. But of course, anyways, right to trial. That means everyone has to say have the right to say no to charges. Usually, the charges are blaming humans for animal nature infections or happenings or injuries through them towards others, which is wrong because the infections should be charged. The alien nature should be charged. The animal nature, the bug nature should be charged. The pollutions should be charged, then eliminated, avoided, separated, neutralized. Not the human, not humans. But you have the right to trial to make that happen. Unfortunately, in this civilization today, it's a very long process, and of course, it's not aligning with human rights because that takes your mind away from what is actually important by leaving you in a troubled reality. So that's a crime too. But hopefully someday we will be able to do it right for each other. Of course, it will only be possible if the ones who are handling humans are not polluted by animal nature or injuries. That's pretty much the same thing. And they can help to ones who are having troubles, and not the other way around. So hopefully someday all the people who are handling humans, including the doctors, the politicians, the justice representatives, or the police, the army, they will not have any infections. That's the way it should be. because that's the only way they can really apply these human rights, and they will be able to really help other humans who are troubled or infected or injured properly without actually hurting them, or I mean the infections through them hurting them, or the procedures that are infected and are human nature friendly. Innocent until proven guilty. It's very, very easy. Even if you are being proven guilty, the guiltiness got nothing to do with you, with human nature. So, but in our society, again, most of the times the law workers or the infections to the law workers, they blaming humans for bacterial and virus natured behaviors. These are the only two, or the behaviors of the net or of the pollutions by quality of nature. They're blaming humans, which is not right. That's a crime. That's disgracing. That's humiliating. That's against human rights law. But we're gonna change that to make sure that, you know, if you will find something guilty, there will be an infection. It will be a bacteria, it will be a virus, it will be a pollution, it will be an animal, it will be a hybrid, to the degree of the alien natures when it comes to the hybrids. Humans are not guilty. We are all innocent. The pollutions through us are. Let's put it this way. Right to privacy, very important. Today, because of the infections, especially virus infections and other pollutions, through almost everything around us. It could be radiations from cell phones, that's a radioactive pollution. It could be pollution, noise pollution. It could be air pollution. Usually when people cook animals, that's all air pollution. Or when they are themselves having waste products and they evaporating in the air like they stinky, that's also pollution. The garbages are pollutions. So they should not exist. They should all be safely separated from humans, and there would be no privacy breaches. So privacy is very important for us because we should only be able to choose who we share our privacy with and how we should share it privacy with, when, where, why, okay, or perhaps why not, or where not, or how not. But that's another story. The really important thing is privacy. You know there's another person there, don't disturb them. That's what animal nature does. Animal nature disturbs, pollutes, then withdraws human energy. So, but when your privacy is respected, then other human beings will say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this right now because I don't want to disturb my friend who lives with me, or I'm going to do it somewhere else, or in a way you're not going to disturb it because that's also pollution." And by interfering with the energetic magnetic field, electromagnetic field, that's withdrawing energy sustaining abilities away from them. And we only allow to support each other's energy sustaining abilities. So when you're standing in line and someone comes into your lifeline, that's a horizontally affecting electromagnetic field. Someone comes into your lifeline, into your aura, electromagnetic field, that's a crime. They're polluting, disturbing yours, and withdrawing it. Or when something goes above you, or underneath of you, like the vertical one is your timeline. What happens above you or underneath of you, that's a vertical effect of the electromagnetic field. You have one too. So yours is constantly want to align with the Earth, and it should not be bothered or polluted or taken away. But when the birds flying over you just to take your human spirit or infect it, hopefully not by spraying, that's a different story. Or when the hybrids under your feet and the animals. So back to the freedom to movement and residence. You have the right to live whenever, wherever, however, with whoever, and why ever, if there's a word for it, to live or to move on Earth. So technically borders are not legal, but because of infections, there are technically screening points, filtration points. But they should still let you through as long as you don't have any infections that could be dangerous to anyone. So again, infections are the reason why we have borders, but they are not legal. Okay. Freedom of movement, again, it means you're walking on the street. Someone should not be stop in front of you or put barriers in front of you. You have the freedom of movement. That's also movement. Residence, again, you should be able to live wherever you wish to, as long as you are not harmful to the human environment. Not to the animal environment. Don't mind that, because they are naturally harmful to human environment. Talking about human natured environment. If you are keeping it up, if you are letting all the beautiful things existing that are supporting our lives, you have the right to live there, because the earth is belonging to humans primarily, only. That's the truth. Right to asylum. So you can find right to asylum, like refuge, help, support in any other countries, as long as the countries can also make sure that they can take care of you if you have any, even if you have any infections or injuries to you, or if you're not. The countries must guarantee your safety, your security, your health, your well-being. In return, the country is asking you to do the same to them. That's why we have the oath, or we have the agreements. Right to nationality. You have the right to be any nationality you wish to. You like another language, other culture, there you are. Go practice it. Go apply for it. You should have the right to get it, as long as you are human natured being, that means human natured being, as well as you are human nature friendly. Right to marry and have a family. I think it's one of the most important things that today we have, is the opportunity to actually make this happen, which hopefully this online tool will help what we are creating, or somebody else will create. It doesn't matter, as long as it will exist. We will be able to find the ones who are well suitable for like a soulmate, and we will be able to marry each other. We will be able to have family together, regardless of sexual orientation, as long as they are mutually satisfying, they're respected, so on and so on. Right to own things. Now, owning things, the first property we own to our human soul, it's our body. So you are a human soul who has a body, not the other way around. So this is your first property. This is your own, number one. Now you are entitled to own things and not beings. You don't have right to own beings, except for plants. The animals, no, you don't have the right to own them. You have the right to care for them, to help them, to be a caretaker, but not the owner. They have their own lives. The plant, you have the right to own plants, but because plant nature is one of the most alkalizing nature in this earth, you also only have the right to do it if you can keep them up. But you can own them. Objects, you can own any objects as long as they are not harmful or dangerous, or utilize dangerous or harmful towards human nature. Again, human nature, or human nature friendly things or beings when it comes to plants. That's it. That's the only condition. Freedom of thought and religion. Now, as long as your thoughts are human friendly, like I mentioned to you about, your emotions will be like that, and your acts, environments, happenings, all that kind of good stuff. Religion, same thing, mentioned to you already about it. Freedom of, religions are technically certain style of human friendly or human natured thoughts with their own emotions and stories involved, to cultivate the human spirit, to keep it up, or to heal it. Pretty much cultivation is involving like sustaining, and then solving, keeping it up, protecting it, supporting it, all the beautiful good things intellectually, as well as the practical experiences what comes with it. Freedom of opinion and expression. Oh, you talked about it. It's very easy. Human nature friendly. There you go. You have it. Human nature protective. You have it. You have the right to have it. Right to assembly. Meet as many people you like. Make it mutually satisfying, respectful. It will be. It will be magical. It will be. That's what really. It's huge. It has a huge power to when actually human when something happens is humanly right in our lives, especially when we are assembled, either two people assembles or more people assembles, and they're sharing the human natures mutually satisfyingly. There is magic. It's magic in the air. That's very very electrifying. That's life changing. It's very beautiful. There is real power by yourself too. You assemble yourself. When you do it with others, it multiplies again. Quantum quantum physics, quantum laws apply to it, and it's super super powerful. Right to democracy. So democracy means that you're technically equally respected when it comes to your wishes, your needs, or when it comes to choose certain environmental conditions for yourself. You have the right to democracy as long as they are human nature friendly. They're coming from human nature. They will produce human nature. Right to social security. So social security when we are among each other and however we treat each other or through working opportunities, chances to meet up, you can make it securely without having a risk to hurt anyone or without harming anyone, just simply by supporting each other. Again, mutual respect does the work towards each other's differently existing or different characteristics, talents, abilities, uh, needs, wishes, offers, so on. Right to work. Everybody has the right to work. Well, who's gonna get paid for it, right? You have the right to work. If you wanna get a work, you get paid for it. And normally you should get money, so guaranteed income should exist, simply because you need it. They are marketing units to provide for yourself to support your human nature, and they should come as long as you are not using those marketing units to get whatever is available in the market to hurt others or to hurt yourself. So as long as you're getting it to get rid of the bugs or the bug nature or the injuries, as well as to support your how about your talents, your abilities, same story again. You should always get the money for it. Money for land, a land wherever you want. If it's costing money, it shouldn't cost money everywhere. But if it's costing money because it is already utilized, it is already commercialized, or you have everything set up and it cost money for before, then you should get the money for it. Apply for it, get the money for it. Or housing, for properties, for land, for tools, for cars, whatever is on the market. As long as you can use it and until you can use it safely to support human nature, yours as well as others, you should get the funds for it. You should get the work for it, and you should, if there is a work that is involving work, you should get the work which will deliver funds for it. But if it's not involving work, actually productive work, then you should just get the fund for it. That's the financial right. Someday it will happen, and human nature will and every human will be human nature and nothing else. Right to rest and holiday. So you have the right to rest anywhere because these rights are applying anywhere, whenever, wherever, whenever, however, whyever, as long as with whoever or without whoever, as long as it's not hurting anyone. You have the right to rest. Have a beer, have a smoke, don't do anything. Have a milkshake, a plant-based milkshake. Have food, just rest, just relax, just sleep. You have the right to do it. As long as you want it, as long as you need it, without anybody disturbing you. you know. Maybe someone will come by to ask you if you're okay, just to make sure that you are alive or you're not in trouble. That's okay. That's a different story. They don't have the right to remove you from anywhere where you already are, or where you already were granted to be at, if you are just resting. That's not an offense. By disturbing your peace, your resting or your holiday, is pretty much your zen, your spiritual well-being, your recharging. They are the ones who are offending, not you. I mean, the offense is coming through them, but that's not them doing it as a human. We already talked about it. It's all just pollutions to them. Right of social service. There are lots of social services, including today in this world, existing today, to support our existences, to make sure that socially we are doing well. And they should be supported. If you need financial support, it should be available. You need intellectual support, spiritual support, uh, support to objects. It should be there as long as it's human nature friendly. And you can also utilize it accordingly, your human nature. Right to education, same thing. You should have the right to education for free, because it's in the freedom of rights, or get the funds for it without interest and without having the need to paying it back for free. Okay, that's the truth. As long as, again, it's supporting human nature. Right of culture and art, same thing. Support human nature to it, not harmful, expanding your mind. Your mind is best working when it's open. Of course, it's only possible without pollutions. You should get the funds, the opportunities, the properties, the space, the equipment, anything you need to make a movie, to make events, to get together, singing, dancing, you name it. Freedom around the world. Big thing, yes. Again, it is possible without any more nature infections and pollutions. There is freedom. Subject to law. Subject to law means that everyone has duties to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. So your duties in the community is like this. Okay, I have the talent to do it, just like everybody has talents to do something really good for the community, even if he's just like a good character, being a good character, or he just by keeping up a garden, or behaving properly, or do other stuff. You have the right to do it, and it should be supported. It should not be bothered. Human rights cannot be taken away. Nobody can take away these rights from you as a human. They can take it away from the infections to humans or from the animals, because a lot of animals are human spirited because they're taking spiritual properties away from humans to themselves. They are rechanneling them. They are channeling it. The bugs are channeling it to other animals, and that's why you have a lot of. So the reason why the we have human nature through them, because it's stolen from humans. But they cannot keep it because their bloods are acidic and acidifying, and they will always need to take it, just to make sure that they not become, very very hostile. So there are. So back to human rights cannot be taken away. It's very important. So back to the animals. That's just very important to keep them separately. Don't consume them. Don't keep them. You don't have the right to consume them or keep them because it's harmful to you. It's good for them, harmful to you. Or just get rid of them. No problem. They are naturally taking away human lives, which is the biggest crime in the whole universe. Okay, to energy vampiring humans or against humans. I'm talking about. So human rights cannot be taken away. No one can take away these rights from you. No one. You were born human. Even if there are infections through you, these rights still apply. And there might be measures taken, and my actions will be taken if the infections are harmful to others, because they always are. But these rights should be still kept for you as much as it's possible. So everything is existing as in this human world. Everything what was ever invented, then patterned, then whatever was granted to exist, they were allowed to exist because they're supposed to support human lives or nothing else. And then if they stop doing it, then they should be exchanged to something, either if it's a proceeding, either if it's an object or a being or an effect. Everything should whatever is protecting human nature and against the above nature should exist until the degree they are really, really for the greater good of humankind. I love you. I got really thirsty. It was a lot of talk, but we covered everything. I covered everything, but together with you, if you understood this, then we did cover it together. I hope that we could. I know we. I believe we can make it happen. I do truly believe. Everybody wants it. All humans wants this. Everyone wants this. It's a matter of fact to understanding it, then doing it together for each other, with each other. So it's very important to keep your faith, your human faith, only for yourself, as well as among those who can do it with you as well, mutually satisfyingly. And the ones who can't, it is if we can, then help them. If we can, then make sure that we are safe or we are able to protect ourselves. All the best to you. I love you. I truly do love all the human beings, as well as all the human nature friendly existing effects, things in our universe or on the planet or in our country, in our city, doesn't matter. Life, the energy of life is love, and everything what is lovely is lively, and everything what is lovable, everything that is lovable will always be neutral natured towards human nature in every way. So they will not impose or they will not have any risk to this beautiful alkaline and alkalizing human nature sustaining ability what we naturally born with. So human pH balance could be increased as far as you want it. It should be right and it should be allowed. That's when your spirit is bright, your soul is shining, and your blood is energized, your cells are energized. And when that happens, and this is a very good intellectual tool to utilize through experiences and everything around us to make that happen, our basic 7.365 pH balance of our blood will stabilize again at 8. That's a normal human blood, stabilized human blood pH balance. So right now, humans, because of the environmental conditions from the animal race, is acidic and acidifying, is stabilized by mostly at 7.365, which means heaven every day. It's still not so bad, but we could earn the pH balance 8, which means we will be able to use all of our human soul abilities, utilize and use through our biological system. All of it. I'm talking about flying, dimensional shifting, be anywhere you really want to, especially the good places. And even as is with this basic list blood pH balance, when as soon as you're increasing it to 8 or above 8, you know, we have it, we're doing it. We might doing it in our minds, in our fantasies, or to our emotions, or to things we are creating, but we become a part of infinity, eternity. We become a part of heaven, where we are belonging to. I wish, that's what I really wish to everyone, and I know that as a human soul, that's where everyone is belonging to, and that's what everyone is helping the others to be at or to do. I know. As a human soul, everybody does. I love you. All the best.